Hello steamit.com, how are we? Article 61, bringing you another naughty engine that's playing up for Rebel Dan to fix in my volunteerist project, bringing free mechanical repairs to the community. Yeah, just so I can work on my own drive. But we'll get around the authorities one way or another. Anyway, banging on. This naughty car has been juddering as you're driving, misfiring, whatever you want to call it. The engine cutting out at times. Normally when you slow down. At first I suspected these bad boys, which are your coil packs. Oh, sorry, sort of camera out. Which are the coil packs. These control your spark plugs. When your engine suddenly cuts out, these can be a suspect, and the spark plugs and the leads and all the rest of it connected to it. I've investigated that side of it. It's not that side of it. They're okay. The one telltale sign was that it was over revving, and with these being faulty, they wouldn't make your car over rev. They would just cut it out. So that with an over revving problem, we start to look at the fuel and the air, because with any problem with a car, you've got you've only got a certain few possibilities. It's either air, electrical or fuel. So you've only got 3 lines to go down really, other than total catastrophe inside your engine, but I think you'd know about that. Anyway, so this is what I'm looking at. This is the inlet manifold here. This is the air filter. Air goes in here into your inlet manifold. Your carburetor's there with your accelerator connected to it, accelerator paddle that's inside there. The air flows in there. On old cars it used to get mixed with the fuel. On this one it's got, on this list line here, this is like a, oh, what would you call it? This is like a choke, a fuel line for the chokes. There's a little fuel line that goes into the carburetor to give it a little bit of extra oomph in the morning when it's tired like I get. But yeah, that's not the problem either. It's not. I've had a look at that. That's okay. I've isolated that. But yeah, this is the air inflow system. On this system, it's got injectors. Fuel, although it's a petrol, it's got fuel injectors, which are here. So if it's got fuel injectors, you know you've got 2 separate systems. So you've got fuel here, air here. So that's good because it separates those for me. I was going to start taking this manifold off, but then I started having to think about it, and it dawned on me that we've got the whole point of the show, the EGR valve, exhaust gas regulator. This little bastard, right? There's no need for it on a car. It's because of an EU regulation of emissions that you've got to have an exhaust gas regulator. Now that pipe there will go down to your exhaust pipe, and it will go to 2 pipes, one before and one after a silencer, and it'll take pressure. The pressure reading from that will come up here, affect this little solenoid here, and then there'll be kind of a plunger there that will let the air flow and restrict it and all the rest, to control your exhaust gas emissions. Now these clog up. This line here goes to your inlet manifold, and there'll be some kind of paddle in there. There'll be some kind of a valve, an opening valve, to open and close. Now what's going on with this is it's juddering, like I say. So what I've found out is, to fix the problem, take that pipe off. You see, because one of these pipes, you take them both off with your engine running. Now one of the pipes will be sucking, which will be this one here. So when I run the engine, which I'm going to do now for you, let me take you around here and we'll say hello while I do it. Good morning, how are we? Article 61, of course. You know that already. Right, so here we go. Click, click. Now this car, oh shit, sorry. This car, normally you get an engine management light on with a fault like this, that little yellow light there. But on this car, it hasn't flagged up anything, which has been the main problem of it, because it's not. You'd end up taking your car to a garage and they'd charge you 50 quid for a code read, and they'd come up with nothing, and then they'd be guessing at it like I am now, and charging you a fortune in the meantime, an hourly rate of normally around about 30 quid. So anyway, let's turn the engine on. So obviously that's started, normally fine with this pipe off. Now it's just the engine's just slowing down now because it's already warm. Now if I put my thumb over that, you'll feel it sucking. You can hear the tone of the air change. Now if I keep my thumb over that, it'll cut the engine out. That is what's happening here. This is cutting the engine out because it's supposed to move freely and go with the flow, so to speak, and it's not doing that. So I've ran the car around with this pipe off for a good half an hour and I've not had a single judder out the engine. So, out of elimination, because I've got no electrical testing gear to test this out properly, what I will do, I'll go and get a second-hand one, or I'll go and get a new one. They're probably cheap actually, these are. They're probably only about 20 quid. So in fact I'll get a new one of these. Yeah, so I can now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put this pipe back on because I don't want to leave it off, because there you go, because that'll happen. I don't want to leave it off, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a slit in this pipe. Let me stop the engine. Oh yeah, now it kicks up again. Okay, let me just pop that back on and go and close the engine down. Now you see, I put that pipe back on and it started juddering again. That valve's not working properly, it's closing the engine down. So like I say, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a slit in that pipe there to let it breathe and act. Just bypass that basically for now. It won't harm the car until I get a new one, which will be a few days. I'm going camping, so I needed to do a quick fix on this car anyway. So there's a quick fix. If you've got a juddering car, that's one of the main things that can go wrong, the EGR valve. So always check that out. You'll always find it because it'll look just like that on every car, but very similar. A plastic solenoid, one electrical connector in and two pipes coming out, one going down towards your exhaust and the other one going towards your air, towards your carburetor or your whatever it is, your airflow, your inlet manifold. If you have trouble finding it, you can always trace it from your exhaust. If you look underneath your car, you'll see two pipes, two small pipes, thin ones, about this diameter, going to your exhaust pipe. You can always trace them back to this valve, and that's how you can find that. Yeah, another thing, like I was saying, with this car not bringing up any engine faults, you'd end up going to the garage and spending a fortune, and they won't be able to tell you anything, but they won't tell you that. I've had it done to me, it's been done to me. 50 quid it cost me for them to come back with no answers, and then they guessed at something, told me the wrong thing, and I spent a day taking a fuel tank out when I didn't need to. So I did what I should have done in the first place and used my own loaf and my own initiative. Yeah, and worked that one out myself. So yeah, the thing is, this is what you want. They cost £10, right? And that is, they're not as good as what you get at a proper garage. But nowadays, when you take them to a garage, they'll use these anyway. Because lots of people who use these code reading machines, no matter how good these code reading machines are, they can be the best snap-on ones in the world. If the person behind the machine don't know how to use it and don't know how to read it, they're only as good as these. Which is in most cases, because it costs thousands of pounds to train someone up on those machines. They're very technical bits of gear. I only know half of them, and each vehicle's got a different one. They update them every year, blah 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 blah. Anyway, for 10 quid you can get one of these that will plug into any car, and then all you do is you get an app on your phone. Let me unlock my phone. You get an app on your phone called OB2. I can get the glare off my phone, and my phone starts up. No, wait, anyway, I won't do that because my phone's shit. It's an OB2, OB-2, and you get that, download that app on your phone, plug this bad boy into the car. Every car's got one. They're sometimes in the glove box, they're normally underneath well, above your feet in the driving position. They're normally just above the pedals, somewhere around there. They plug in. They can sometimes be in the centre dash console on some cars, underneath the handbrake, around there, in the ashtray. There's all sorts of places. Just tap it in online. Google it, man. Google it. If you get OB2 Lite, which is the free edition of this, you need to also install, there's another app. Oh, come here. There's another app which is called Check Engine, and it's just a code, because OB2 will just give you a code like P0505, and then you'll tap that into Check Engine Lite, and there you go, and it'll give you that, and you tap it in. I got P505 on one of them because I unplugged something else. P505. Well, anyway, it'll come up with a code. Can't be asked to do it. No point. yeah, so that comes up with, you can get that really cheap, so that will save you 50 quid a time every time your engine management light comes on. At least then you can take it to a garage with a code and just say don't code read it. You can do that, that's a good thing. I was going to say on yesterday's video, and I forgot to say it, always buy your parts before you go to a garage. Yeah, if you know what's wrong with it, if you need brake pads, buy the parts yourself. Like I say, they'll put a markup on it of anything from 50 to 500%. So buy your own parts. It's very easy. Just give your reg to any parts company and they'll find it for you. They do all the work for you. Is there anything else I need to go on about? I think I'll leave it at that for now. Like I say, that OB2 thing's a cracking little device, so get yourself one of them. Remember, EGR valves, they always go wrong, they're a bastard. People even buy plates to blank them out, so you can leave it all in situ and blank the actual valve out. You have to take the manifold off to do that, so yeah, only do that if you're fully technically minded. Just wondering if there's anything else to tell you. I don't think so. I think we're cool on this one. Oh yeah, the service. If you watched yesterday's video, I was going on about the air filter and banging on about it. Right, this is a normal car, right? Air filter there, 2 clips, easy, very easy to get to. Oil filter will be, well, the oil filter was easy on the other car, but the oil filter on this one will be somewhere down there. You'll get to it underneath again. This one, with it being a petrol, the fuel filter's miles away and don't need changing. That one yesterday was a diesel, so that's different, but yeah, the air filters are normally there, so that's how they should be, not dug behind a battery like that. Yeah, cracking stuff. In due time I will show you how to take a clutch out. I'll tell you, yeah, I can show you how to do your own clutches. I can show you how to flare your own brake pipes. Man, the tool for that costs about 15 quid, and that is one of the main failures on an MOT is brake pipes, and I can show you how to make these pipes and flare them, and it takes 5 minutes to shape these, and the parts cost pittance. So like, if you're into doing your own repairs, even send me a message, ask me, and I'll do a video, request a video. And I've got this piece of shit car here. I shouldn't call her that, I call her Penny. She's took me miles. She's a little baby, she's a darling. But yeah, I'll happily take that to bits and use it as a demo piece. So if there's any videos anyone wants to know about, timing belts, clutches, services, brake pads, adjusting a handbrake, anything, window regulators. There's a trick with window regulators. If your automatic switch on your electric window doesn't work properly and you hold it up and it's supposed to go all the way up and it doesn't, the way to reset them is to push it all the way up, get everything set like they're all closed, hold your window switch down. Let me show you. This is how you reset. Alright, turn this on. Right, your windows are supposed to go down all the way like that. Now on some cars it stops. Alright, now that is because these have lost their kind of they've lost their timing. So what you do is you reset it, you put it all the way to the top. Right, now you need to go all the way down and keep your finger on it. Now when it goes to the bottom, you hold your finger down for about 3 seconds. And then you go all the way up. And you wait for it to go all the way up. And you hold it again for about 3 seconds. Now once you've done that, you can let go. And you press your automatic buttons. If you've got that feature on it, you press your automatic buttons and they'll be reset and they'll work again. So there's a nifty little trick for you. Is there any other nifty tricks? Turning service lights off, just Google that shit. That's normally a procedure, like you'll hold there'll be a button on the end of your stalks and you'll hold it down, you'll turn the key to on and you'll press it twice. It's that kind of thing. Or it sometimes uses these buttons. You can sometimes end up using your dash buttons to reset the service light because they can be a pain in the arse. Airbags, resetting airbags, anything like that if you want to know. Just give me a shout. Alright, so put it in the comments if you want me to do any video, then let me know. Alright, article 61's Volunteerist Mechanics on steamit.com. Latest dudes.